Hello and welcome back to Solo-Ensemble.com. My name is Douglas Abernathy. I'm the owner and developer of Solo-Ensemble.com. This is another of a series of videos on the use of our software. In particular, this video is going to highlight some of the new features we've introduced in the 2020 to 2021 school year, focused on applications for school staff, that is to say, music educators. We've made improvements to the overall appearance of the website, added some ease of use capabilities, and most importantly, we've fully implemented ways to implement virtual contests. And we'll explain exactly what that means as we get going. First of all, for appearance, we've improved our icon library, so many things are a little fresher looking. For example, accompanists now have a piano icon, and schools, instead of the Apple icon we used to use, now have an actual school building. A lot of our implementations used to have a dialog box embedded onto a page, and now that will be a pop-up dialog that will appear in front of the page you're on, and then will go away when you're done. And that includes things like, "Are you sure?" when you're about to delete something. And many features have been moved up to the toolbar along the top of a page, again decluttering the pages. So we'll see more about what that looks like in a few minutes. Under ease of use, most of the user enhancements this time around are with the contest staff, but in order to implement judging of virtual contests, we've added some things for the school as well. And for schools, you can now download comment sheets in a number of different ways. It used to be you could only download them as one big PDF, but now you can view individual comment sheets for a single student performance, or perhaps download all the solo performances, or all of them, completely all of them. So that's still there. One other nice feature is that you can have an outstanding solo performance nomination buried in with the regular scores of judging. And that way the judges can nominate their favorite performers for that day or for that period, and then later on go back and select which one of those they consider to be an outstanding soloist. Some contests use that rubric system. And now the big change for 2020 and 2021 is virtual contests. Solo-Ensemble.com supports those in two different ways. One are live judging events, which requires a video channel link, as I call them. And that would be like a Zoom meeting or Microsoft Teams. And with those, the judge and the students have to both, of course, be logged into the same virtual meeting at the same time. And what my software does is facilitate those links that allows that to happen. Now, video channels are actually set up by the contest staff, whereas the other types of links are going to be set up by you, the school staff. So moving on to pre-recorded performance judging, which is, I think, going to be the more common method used. For that, we've implemented something called video links. And in that sense, the students will upload a performance to a website that holds videos and then set that link to be viewable by anyone who has the appropriate link. And then the school staff will enter those links into Solo-Ensemble.com, and then the judges can access it. Same for the sheet music links. In order for the judges to have access to the sheet music that they need to evaluate a performance, those are going to be static files, of course, PDF or image files that they will provide, that you will provide as a link, and the judge can click that link, and he or she will then see the sheet music open up in a browser window. One of the nice things is that for Solo-Ensemble.com, we can combine any or all of these methods, including the original in-person method of judging, in the same contest event. So you don't have to have a separate event for virtual contests. For example, you might have one school that would prefer that their students perform live but at their location, and therefore you would set up some remote video channel things to have the judges evaluate those students. Perhaps a different school or students would like to upload their performances, And finally, you might have a set of students that are willing to perform in person in a safe manner these days, of course. But all those can be handled at the same time in Solo-Ensemble.com. We don't have to have different events. So as a final wrap-up, video channel judging is synchronous, video links judging is asynchronous, and that, for example, could allow judges to review a contest totally at their own pace over a weekend, for example. This is kind of reviewing what I've already said. The links, actually putting the files onto the Solo-Ensemble server has always been problematic from both copyright issues and youth protection issues. So by adding these so-called links, and you'll see what those are, they can be accessed by the judges. So this is kind of what I've already been saying. Here's the thing about video channels, and those are created by the contest staff. And they have to be scheduled, right? Because most of those meeting types require a particular time block. So you might have a Zoom meeting set up from 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. on Tuesday. And that is what the contest staff will deal with. And so they will set up those channels. And then, of course, how do you know when to log into that channel? That's when the judges and you as schools will all be given access to the same session. And a session is just a block of time with things attached to it. And so the contest staff will assign a school to a session and name it with, perhaps this is brass, or this is percussion, or this is, a choral ensemble session. And then the students who belong to that category can then go be judged in the live video channel. The live channels, as I mentioned in another slide, it can still happen where the student just walks in and into the picture, so to speak, and gets judged. When you have pre-recorded performances, that's when you're going to need to schedule which judges are assigned to which performances, and we can do that. Here are video links. This is, again, when you're uploading videos that the students or you have recorded, and we strongly suggest using the name of the student or the name of the ensemble as the name of the link, because all of my links have a name, a URL, that stands for Uniform Resource Locator. It's the actual web address, and then a brief description if you'd like. And so again, this is for you, the school staff, to do, and the judges will see those. Sheet music links, same deal. As I said before, again, I strongly suggest use the title of the performance selection, like Wildflowers in the Spring, or whatever the name of the piece of music is. That should be the name. And whereas video links need to be unique because it's one per performer or one per student, sheet music links don't have that limitation. You could have the same piece of music for many students or many ensembles, which is actually very normal. So you only have to create the link once and then repeat that link in the different performances. And I'll show you how you do that. Again, when judges are judging, this is just a review of how the judges are going to accomplish their task. So this includes the fact that we can now assign, contest staff can assign a judge to a performance. This is an important consideration for school staff, is that all of your link management is done from a single new menu or page called Create and Manage Links. We're going to get to that in a second. And you create the links in advance, meaning once the students have recorded their information, you upload it somewhere, and then you create a list. You'll have to maintain your own little list of that, of what student has what video URL, all the way down to every little character. And then when you enter the student data, you'll have those links in the system. You'll put them in, and then they'll be there when you enter your students. I'll show you that. Yeah, recommended practice here is to get all the video links and sheet music uploaded first, track it in some type of a file, so that when you're uploading it to the system, you'll know who belongs to who, and then when you're entering the student, the links will be available. This all sounds pretty confusing, but I guarantee you it'll become clear when we start using the software. And speaking of that, let's go in now. As always, this is our start page. After you've been to Solo-Ensemble.com, you click on Contest Start Page, and you go here. I think it's Contest Login. And I'm going to log in as me. As usual. And this is the new dashboard look. It's a little cleaner, got different icons here. And the school icon, as I said, is now a school building as opposed to an apple. Accompanists are shown by pianos. Judges have the same symbol, and then contest staff is this cog icon. So we're going to go into the school interface here. This is your typical school menu. Nothing different on the school account and a couple of different things on results. But on performance entries, this is as it was before. Your solo performances are here, but you'll notice now if you'd used the software before, you used to have a couple of drop-down areas that would for entering new data. Now you go up to the menu here and it says add one solo or add many solos. Here's where you can download your list of CSV. And since these are active links, you can always edit. So we can look at David Behringer here and click there and edit David's data here. And make your changes as needed and then update just to make the save changes. Alrighty, let's go back to the main menu and we'll focus on the one major important new page for you, create and manage links. So this is a single web page with multiple tabs. The tabs are running across the top here. So you start off on the video links page. And each link, as I said, has a name, which really ought to be the name of the student. A URL, depending on where you have put it. YouTube has the ability to store links and make them unlisted so that they're only visible if you actually have the link. Or you might have an account with OneDrive or with Google Drive where you could also create and store these links. Over on the third column is where you might type in something about the link in case they need a password or anything else. I'd really recommend trying to avoid password systems unless you must. And finally, the trash can icon in the final column will delete the link. It will not delete the file, right? It will only delete Solo-Ensemble.com's reference to the file. So if you've messed up the link or you have assigned it, you don't want to just start over on that link, you can just delete it and it goes away. In fact, you get a little, are you sure, remove video link, and you can say remove or cancel. Sheet music links looks exactly the same. You've got the name, the URL, and a little bit of info, and then the trash can. And again, these are now not videos, these are static images, either a PDF file or a JPEG or something that has a picture of the music. The last three tabs are very similar, solo, ensemble, or placement links, and they're more or less a summary for you, the music educator, to know which students have had their links updated and which ones have not. And it's a list that you can sort by a number of columns. Right now it's sorted by the student solo ID, The student names included, of course, because you wouldn't necessarily know who is S11725, but here it's Robert Stevenson. And over here you can see that Robert, in this case, has no video link and no sheet music link defined, whereas Michael Makoyevich has each already defined. And if you edit, if you edit Michael, you'll see here that his video link has been established from this drop-down. And he has an accompanist, which isn't required, but you could. And then he has a sheet music link. So all those have been defined for him, and they do show up on the list. So if you had any changes to make, you would go back here and update. So we'll go back. Actually, it takes us back to the solos. Let's go back to the main menu, and we're in the Create and Manage Links function. And so that was solo links. And then ensemble links, same idea. You have the ID number. You have the name, and you have whether or not they have had any links defined. And again, you define the links back over here in the video links or the sheet music links tabs. You create them first, and then this lets you know who's been assigned, right? And if you're actually ready to make an assignment, then you'll click on the student ID over here on the left. Other considerations, the medals and ribbons and completed screens are a little bit cleaner. For medals, you basically have a little set of tables showing you how many, in this case, in this contest, there's 1 and 1 plus that earn medals for solos, and only a 1 earns a medal for ensembles. And this says this school has 4 1s, no 1 pluses yet, and 4 1 ensembles. Ribbon summary, same idea. I have 2 solos earned a ribbon with a score of 2, and 8 ensemble students now. This is how many ribbons. So I don't know if that's one ensemble of 8 or 2 ensembles of 4 or some combination thereof, but 8 students are going to be receiving ribbons. And then here's your completed summary that simply said, okay, I had, in this contest, my school had 18 registered students or solo performances. 6 have been performed, and that leaves 12 yet to do. Again, 8, 3, and 5. And this is also very important in pre-recorded judging contests, which don't take place all at once. They can take place over a weekend or a week, and so you can actually see how many are remaining. And then if you click on the number remaining, in this case the 12, it will take you to a list of those students, so you know who has not been adjudicated yet. And that's the remaining solos. And there's also another, that's an inbox symbol, by the way, the icon. There's one for remaining ensembles. All right, so that's pretty much all the changes that I've implemented for for school staff for Solo-Ensemble.com. I hope you appreciated this video and look forward to having you join us for another video and to use our software. Bye.